Welcome back. The weekend of the 28th of June to the 1st of July saw the St. Lucia Fire Service Department responding to 99 medical emergency ambulance calls, which include 9 motor vehicular accidents and 2 physical assaults. Assistant Divisional Officer of the SLFS, David Antoine, provided details into some of the more pressing reports responded to, which included a physical assault and motor vehicle accident.
On Sunday, 30th of June, at approximately 8:22 a.m., fire officers from the Gros Islet Fire Station responded to a physical assault at Rodney Bay, Gros Islet. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel assessed and treated a young male for laceration to the face. He was subsequently transported to the Victoria Hospital for further medical treatment. On Sunday, 30th of June, at approximately 3:53 a.m., fire officers from the Gros Islet Fire Station responded to a motor vehicle accident at Cap Estate, Gros Islet. That incident involved a scooter and a Suzuki Swift. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel assessed and treated a young male for laceration to the back of the head. He was fully immobilized and subsequently transported to the Victoria Hospital for further medical treatment.
In addition, Antoine says the St. Lucia Fire Service also responded to 3 fire calls. Work on the secure transaction in movable properties legislation is now into its second phase with the development of the legislative framework and appropriate regulations. Access to finance had been a long-standing issue for the private sector, particularly small and medium enterprises. Research indicates that approximately 70% of a firm's wealth is concentrated in its movable assets. More in this report from Glenn Simon.
A survey of St. Lucian businesses revealed that access to finance ranks number 1 in the top 10 business environment constraints, with the cost of electricity and transportation running a distant second and third respectively. It is for this reason, coupled with the thrust to improve the ease of doing business climate in St. Lucia, that the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, NCPC, embarked on the introduction of legislative reform aimed at facilitating the use of movable assets as collateral. Economist with the NCPC, Sharma Matre, explains.
Businesses as well as individuals will be able to utilize their valuable assets such as accounts receivables, industrial equipment, inventory, etc. as collateral in order to apply for loan financing within banks and other financial institutions.
Mathren noted that lending institutions on island concentrate almost exclusively on real or immovable property, such as house and land, as there is an established legal and registry framework which support the rights in real property. This requirement, however, inhibits the growth and productivity of many small business operators who do not possess the requirements for traditional loan financing.
This is very detrimental to your wider economy because it basically prevents private sector expansion, because it basically inhibits new businesses from being able to be formed and be able to employ persons. It inhibits existing businesses from being able to expand their operations. It inhibits businesses from being able to access export financing in order to market their goods and services to other regional and international markets.
Executive Director of the St. Lucia Manufacturers Association, Paula Cauldron, welcomes the introduction of the Secure Transactions in Movable Properties legislation, while indicating that the customer, the lender, and other parties must be well protected to be able to use the legislation as part of regular business transactions.
And the reason why a lot of persons have difficulty with accessing finance is because they have no tangible security. So as a business person, you may have 2 vans, a car, but the bank would not take a bill of sale over that as security to lend you some money if they're not sure and they cannot verify whether this movable property is not mortgaged or assigned to another financial institution. And these things are easy to transfer. You can move them from point A to point B with a blink of an eye. Because with the legislation, it will also help us, because it also will cover if we have assets in another territory, we can look at using that asset to secure financing in St. Lucia.
It is expected that the Secure Transactions in Movable Properties legislation would be approved before the end of this financial year, and it will be accompanied by the establishment of an online collateral registry of movable assets, which will be housed within the High Court. Sharon Gardner-Hippolyte, former registrar of the High Court, clarified how the registry will work.
It would be something that is online. You don't physically have to come in. You would be able to go and search and be able to identify if a person has any loan on a particular vehicle, if you want to enter into a transaction. Now, in terms of privacy, obviously it's not open to everybody to be able to do that. So you want to make sure that it's secure. There are aspects of privacy because, quite frankly, I don't think you or and I would want average Joe public to just go onto the online registry, type in our name and ascertain exactly what we own and where we own it.
The NCPC plans to ramp up its sensitization efforts with key stakeholders and the general public regarding the secure transactions in movable properties legislation as the implementation date draws closer. For the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, Glenn Simon reporting.
The Technical and Vocational Education and Training Unit held its third annual Art Educators Conference at the Bay Gardens Beach Resort and Spa on Friday, June 21st. The conference brought together art teachers island-wide. CVQ certificates were awarded to art teachers at a primary and secondary school level who completed a papier-mâché course with the TVET unit. Jalem Udovic delivered the feature address, and the new art syllabus was unveiled at this conference.
A conference held at the Bay Gardens Resort and Spa brought together key stakeholders in the art educational field. Spearheading the conference, which was hailed as an event which looked to lay the framework for the development of art on island, was the Technical and Vocational Training TVET unit. From the TVET unit, Clovis Samuel stated the plans for the unit and art teachers, which involved a total concentration on creativity and polishing talent.
We have some ambitious plans where we intend to have everybody at some point exposed to, but not only exposed, but be immersed in visual arts, so that we can develop the creativity in our people, allow us to design, allow us to do what art can bring for us. For instance, our curriculum on the democratic citizenship actually hinges on visual arts in terms of what they want to see coming out of our students at the end of the period at school.
Samuel went on to thank the dedicated members of the TVET Council for their continued support to the development of art in St. Lucia. Meanwhile, Deputy Chief Education Officer Dawson Raghunanan highlighted the importance of art instructors, who he said not only inspire but captivate the minds of youth to continue learning while doing something creative.
Today it is my expectation that I will be invigorated, I would be relaxed today, being in the presence of persons who I have no doubt will help to change the educational landscape of St. Lucia through brushstrokes, use of brain-stimulating colors, and creative energies. The Ministry of Education is extremely pleased to support and to endorse this third art conference for teachers. This is an opportunity for you as art teachers to create and sustain the kinds of professional learning communities that must be developed so that resources can be maximized, ideas can be exchanged, and art programs can be strengthened within all of our schools.
Art teachers from the secondary and primary school level who participated and completed a papier-mâché course with the TVET unit were awarded a CVQ certificate during the third annual Art Educators Conference. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
It is now time for the sports news with tennis in Glasgow.